Welcome to the WGLNA. I'm Joshua Gray.
And I am Randall Holcomb. We've just gotten through with Isle of Lamp versus Top Tier, where Top Tier came out with a 5-1 victory, surprising. And now we're moving on to Full Potato versus Noble.
As always, you can follow us on Twitter at WGLNA, Facebook.com/WGLNA, and also that hashtag on Twitter, WGLNA, so we can find your tweets and put them up on the broadcast.
And don't forget about the question of the day. Which underdog is most likely to upset their opponent today, and why? Don't forget to send us those tweets, and do not forget the hashtag WGLNA. It makes it so it's easier for us to find those and put them up.
It's a searchability parameter on the internet, on the interwebs, on the internets. That's how we find it.
It's a series of tubes.
A series of tubes. Full Potato has one win. Their one win was against Penguin Mafia. They had losses against Civil Tankers and Hammer Time, and a tiebreaker loss against Simply Irresistible and Victoria's Secret. They said that they had recouped after Hammer Time, against the loss against Hammer Time. They did get that one victory, but that loss against Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
I think that's probably it. Coming off of that, I'd guess, but I wouldn't know if they're kind of feeling a little bit less pumped up and full of air as they were before.
Yeah.
Just like good posture, puffing out your shoulders, feeling good. I don't think they're probably in that place right now. Noble, of course, coming off the loss with Isle of Lamp. I'm wondering.
Yeah, what happened? Because this is the same Noble that was doing well against Simp.
Yeah,
previously.
It's surprising. I did get a chance to speak to Enfield shortly. Seemed like he wasn't happy with the performance overall of everyone, himself and the rest of the team. Like they all made their mistakes, and they all knew what they were, of course, but that they'd all made mistakes.
Waiting for our two team representatives to join us in the face-off as well. It looks like it's ready now. Here we go. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to the face-off.
What's up?
All right. Let's tune into Zombie Food here. It looks like External is trying to fix something. Zombie Food. All right, so you had a good beginning to Season 5 and then a couple of setbacks with a couple losses here. What's the mentality of the team tonight?
We're still feeling good right now. We still feel we can perform really well. Yet, not yesterday, Tuesday, it was mostly us just kind of not making the right decisions after the first engagements and us throwing the matches, especially in Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, I ended up watching those, and it was curious. Why, though, were you guys playing so differently? Was it just an off day?
It might have been an off day. I don't know. We were making some weird decisions. I don't really have any excuses for it. I hope we play better today and don't make the same mistakes.
But you were able to identify those at least?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Let's check in with your opponents. Full Potato. We got External on the line. Good evening, External. Can't hear you. Your mic's muted. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Looks like we can't hear him.
It's unfortunate.
Sorry, External. All right, Zombie Food. Do you have any words for External, though, just in case he can't hear you?
I have some words to a new bromance that we made a couple weeks ago to WASD. They specifically requested me that I mention them because they're so lovely.
All right.
And for External and their team, I wish you the best of luck, and let's have good matches.
All right, well said. All right, External, we can't hear you now. Stop fidgeting, External. Stop moving.
I can kind of hear you, but
can you hear me?
Yeah, just slightly. I have to move in, though.
All right, well, while you're moved in, do you have any words for your opponents before we start this fight?
I just want to say good luck to Taylor Swift. I really love all her albums, all the music she's made. Zombie Food is who I'm talking to, obviously. He's a very beautiful man. So that's all I really want to say. Good luck. It's going to be fun. So.
All right, looks like Full Potato will have a blank space for Zombie Food tonight. Good luck, gentlemen. We'll see you on the battlefield.
All right.
I had to do it, Randall. I had to do it. I had to do it.
No.
Yes.
It was beautiful, though.
I know it was. I know chat loved it as well. Speaking of chat, betting begins right now. Make sure to place your bets. If you're new to betting, make sure to ask people in chat. They are more than willing to help you. Badco is our lead moderator. He's there standing by along with actually Shakes in chat. That's Dan Morris, our social media correspondent. Now, why do you want to place your bets? Because points matter here at the WGLNA. The top performers have an opportunity to take home a nice little prize tonight. You can check how you're doing on our leaderboards at WGLConnect.com. And moving on into the rosters in just a little bit, have any team changes or roster changes happened?
No, not huge for Full Potato. I think I can go back and check real quick. No, not anything to speak of much anymore. Noble, big time. We're looking at Zombie Food, actually. I was curious about that when I saw Zombie Food. Top damage dealer, 38k. And we have Chandog from Full Potato with a whopping 44k damage for the season thus far, putting him well ahead of most every other player in the league.
Also, the Banana Cell Wall host has the longest name in our league. As a Pilaqueta, I think is pretty close.
Pretty close, but no one beats Bananas because his name is so long, it must be abbreviated on any account he makes. It's probably too long anywhere he signs up. You can't beat Bananas full spelling anywhere, or even spaces or underscores. He's going to have to be like Ban Wall Hoss most places, and just lose some letters and hope people fill in the gaps.
Let's talk a little bit about Noble and how they have changed their name now with Noble Esports from the Googly Bobbers last season.
Missed that name a little bit.
A little bit, but you look at what happens when a team changes their name, their logo, changes their outlook on the game itself.
Their identity.
Their identity. It's more often than not for the positive, and the outcome is very positive. Still early to tell right now with Noble's performance, but at least with their attitude and professionalism for what we're seeing on camera and what we're seeing on the battlefield, they're looking pretty good as a team. Just they need to make the right decisions, as we heard Zombie Food say.
Yeah, and because they've made so many roster changes coming into this season, I think they're also just getting used to each other again. Whereas you had previous Googly Bobbers who were very familiar with each other, they had a long rapport, but with this kind of a revamp of the team, you're seeing so many new people come in that you're bound to see growing pains. And it's not necessarily growing pains with players not be getting along or anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying growing pains where you find out that you have these strengths, or these people work together, and sometimes you misjudge something. You misjudge someone's place on a team, and it takes a while maybe for them to find where they belong or to find their way to shine.
It's a good way to put it, and the different roles that these individuals can play, you have two different mentalities. You have the specialists, which this is what they do every single time and they're great at it. And then you have the jack of all trades, where if I need to jump into an arty on steps, or if I need to play a T-32 on Pro Horovka, I can do it. I know how to play those tanks. I know where to place them, but not necessarily in the specialist level. Yeah, and I think that's where some of these teams will have kind of, one or two specialists. This is what they do every single time, and then everybody else can adjust accordingly.
You'll also run into people who are going to just constantly be experimenting. Those players who are going to insist every single time there's a patch, I must play this new tank. I need to play the Chariots here. Please let me do that.
Match number 2 is about to begin between Noble and Full Potato. Battle number 1 will take place on Pro Horovka. Randall, what do we have for tanks?
All right, we have a T-32 Pershing 1390, 2 RU-251s, and 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. That's going to be for Full Potato, who are the red team, and they are a tank. On the other side, Noble will be bringing 2 T-32s, 2 1390s, single RU-251, 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. Both teams going for that kind of a lineup where they're going to maximize those tier 7s and work around their heavier tanks, those Pershings and T-32s.
Looking at the opening movements coming from the defensive side, Noble. Straight across right now, the grassy, beautiful plains.
Shots fired. Major issues taking 159 at the beginning.
Trying to back up. Able to get away just in time. Sovereign Zool and his T-32 looking for an opening. Was shot against Full Potato, but no dice for him.
All right.
Noble continues to move.
Not a big pickup at the beginning there. Chandog does get a hit into Noble. Noble did start with a little bit more hit points than you saw on Full Potato, but now they're sitting just below, so it's kind of evens that up. It makes Major Issues kind of, he needs to be safer, especially after that 249 into Major Issues in the north as Warbander is heading up that direction.
To give you an update on the other match that's happening right now, Simp is up 4-2 against Hammer Time. We'll keep you updated as the action unfolds. Blue Stealth bounces a shell off the front and to the side, takes a hit for 230 damage from Fat Crobe, the M26 Pershing tank.
I love this position from Fat Crobe. You're getting a shot right into the side of the T-32s. In order for them to go over the tracks, they're going to have to expose their sides to his position. And it's an inconvenient corner because also Fat Crobe has the high ground. And high ground always means victory, right?
For the most part. Especially if your name's Obi-Wan. Fat Crobe able to bounce one shot off the front. More shots fired over the train tracks. Ooh, one
number
car
way
gets
up north.
hit. Another bounce off the front of Fat Crobe. And 20 seconds left for Full Potato to get the flag cap here.
Although it does look like Baronish is moving in, and doesn't look like... Oh, he is going to stop. Hesitation with 14 on the board left. The push should come in shortly, or something. They need to pressure Warbandor off because Major Issues can no longer take shots. Baronish looks for the cap, and he does get his reset, but not before taking 705 damage.
Blue Stealth trying to move in there and get another shot against External. Meadowhawk and External, the ones that have all the points in that flag cap with 9 seconds left to go. But they're trading fire with the T-32s, and from long range, Fosta Kid, well, medium range, trying to get a couple shots against the blue team. But one tank goes down. That's Boar. Crisis got the final shot.
There's a reset right into Meadowhawk and External. They've both taken a shell. That is exactly what Noble needs in this situation to bring this one back. And the hit point's still in favor of Full Potato. They need to make a decisive move in order to get this one back in their control because they've been sitting still far too long.
Fat Crobe, 1 HP in the Pershing. Blue Stealth looking to get that kill. As the rest of Full Potato's squad that was in the Eastern Village are now moving to the north. 2 takes still remain, though, on the east side.
And there goes Enfield, but just as they get Fat Crobe with that 1 hit point left.
3 minutes, 52 seconds left for the defenders to hold. Still plenty of tanks left on the battlefield for Full Potato here. 5 against 4. Noble, all 4 tanks on the eastern side. Fosta Kid alone, surrounded, but not totally engaged by all tanks. The T-32s are still focusing on the north. Crisis takes it for 192. Fosta Kid needs to be cleaned up here. Missed shot from Zombie Food against Fosta. Crisis falls back, lands another hit, and Zombie Food cleans it up.
Nice shot, sneaking in just in time, right before Fosta's able to get off that final parting shot.
Here comes Warbandor in the 1390, ready to clean up these T-32s from behind. Can he get one shot on the side? Oh, he goes for it, but Sovereign Zool backed up, and he lands a hit for 216. This is making Warbandor double think right now. Should I go? Should I not? Should I go? Hesitating a little bit, and then moving up to the north. These T-32s, as we saw timed out do previously in the center section, holding their ground and still in a very great position to stop any flag pressure.
Exactly. They're able to flex east-west easily. There's not enough hit points on the battlefield to hold off these T-32s for long. Warbandor can try and play some sneaky games, but he can't take these T-32s on as a heavy tank. He needs to get distance. He needs to find those specific angles, and as he attempts to get a little distance, he is taking damage, which he was the healthy tank on the team. Now he's sitting just around where Meadowhawk is, not very durable, no real armor to speak of, and only about 500 hit points.
Zombie Food making a great choice of going all the way north here to create a double flank, a double front from the T-32s in the center along with Crisis in the 1390 in his highest health tank. That 1390 up north. Minute 25 seconds, plenty of time for Noble to be slightly patient here instead of going all for it all at once to get that flag cap reset. But now they're going to have to get in a prime position to get that reset with 20 seconds left.
And with Zombie Food probably moving in simultaneous with the T-32 push, should work.
And that push needs to happen now. 13 seconds left on the clock. They are wasting time. Zombie Food has been in position for a while.
He might not even have enough time to approach and get the reset.
Well, these slower T-32s are not going to get there in time. Sovereign Zool takes a hit to the front. 5 seconds left. They need the reset. There goes Sovereign Zool. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Can they get the reset in time? Zombie Food moving.
Does not get it.
Can't get the shot, and base is captured. Once again, teams hesitating too long to get into these flag caps.
That was a disappointing move. I think they were winding up for way too long. Way
too long. Those T-32s, knowing how slow they are, they're not going to move in time. You had to start moving at 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You have to plan for a missed shot as well. I know it's 3 tanks moving in, maybe a 4th, but you can't do that.
And it's a 1390. Again, just one of the tanks. You'll depend on the missed shot after your first settling your reticle. Yeah. You're expecting to. It doesn't fire accurately on the move. And it's a hard choice. Yes, you want to make it so you come in as late as possible so that you get as many cap points removed as possible. But yeah, it's waiting too long. spending too much time making sure everyone's on the right page and coordinated, and not enough time executing. You're spending too much time maybe in that planning stage, which all of us, I think, are familiar with at time to time, especially when you're getting later in school.
Yeah. Well, you could see the potential strategy of the T-32s focusing on the Southern Tank, focusing on Meadowhawk. Sure, go for it. Leave Zombie Food the task of taking down the flag cap. He had enough HP to survive at least 3 hits. And so you make that decision. The T-32s focus on the south. One of them falls, it's fine. They get to kill against Meadowhawk. And if the remaining tank from further away has to flee, he flees into the hills on the east side, and they still get the victory. We're harping on this because Zombie Food mentioned we want to make better decisions. And battle number 1, that was not the case right now.
It was the right decision at the wrong time.
Yes, at the wrong time, which can still be
still the wrong decision.
The wrong decision. Battle number 2 between Noble and Full Potato is about to begin on Pro Horovka. What do we have for tanks?
All right, so T-32, 2 1390s, 2 RU-251s, and 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. That's on Full Potato, who are attacking the red team. Blue team defending Noble, 2 T-32s, 2 1390s, single RU-251, and 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. So very standard lineups with only minor variations, really, between the two teams. But Noble does have the advantage of more hit points being brought.
Movement coming from the defenders. Noble again, straight south. Full Potato, all together, moving right up the railroad track line. And Mage is going to get hit for 243. That shot may have come from Sovereign Zool.
And this is happening every time to him at the beginning of a match. He is taking hits early on. It's not necessarily his fault as much as when he spots things, they're not taking fire.
Oh, look at this. This is a blitz coming from Full Potato.
And did you just see External just spin Chandog out?
No.
He's like, turn me around.
And
he's like, okay. Him? And he's just like, I'll spin you out.
Well, here comes the return fire. The T-32, the South War, is going to get surrounded.
Absolutely
But
destroyed.
they trade for a major issue.
I don't think that's worth it. That is a tier 7 for a tier 8. And the T-32 represents so much more for Full Potato. I think Noble's going to be able to take this one and continue it forward from here. It's a matter of if they make any huge mistakes.
Well, their Walker Bulldogs in some serious trouble, landing hit after hit after hit. Fat Crow moved in, got the kill in the 1390. He's at half health, though. There was a cost, but it was effective enough for Full Potato.
Yeah, and now with losing Baronish, you have less tanks and vision on the field, making it, I think, harder for Noble to regain control of their cap.
But look at the difference. 5,000 hit points from Full Potato, 6,000 from Noble.
You're right, those T-32s, that's where they're going to be effective. But the advantage still for Full Potato is that they have more tanks. They can work with that. It's hard, but they have more damage output in a shorter amount of time. They still have that going for them.
Sovereign Zool takes a hit to the front, but it bounces off the T-32 tank.
And Zombie's in for a surprise. He's about to find Fat Crow, who is hidden in a bush. One good connection, but Zombie makes his first connection this time, finishing him off, securing that entire west side of the tracks.
2 against 2 when it comes to tanks destroyed for both teams.
In the up and over, Zombie Food is able to take out Warbender, but External, no, Chandog is able to finish him off.
But look at Sovereign Zool changing course here, changing targets and suffering because of it. 3 shots landing on the side. Blue Stealth now in a death match with the M41 Walker Bulldog and the RU-251 from Anfield, moving up to clean up the annoyance to the north. But Fossa Kid and the 251 charges through. 2 against 4 right now in favor of Noble. Fossa Kid takes a hit to the side, and Meadowhawk's going to push in and his Walker Bulldog to engage the fight, or at least scout what's happening next to the railroad tracks.
Now, Fossa Kid and Meadowhawk have split themselves. They're on either side of the tracks. They can't regroup. There's not a lot of support fire they can give each other. I'm worried for Full Potato right now. This isn't a situation they should be able to come back from, especially with those 2 T-32s. They're so healthy. You have light, poorly armored tanks who cannot play that hold down game, cannot play that range game, and even if they get close, they can't out-damage their opponent. There's no advantage Full Potato has with their current tanks alive. They have mobility, and that could be something, but the potential damage and the tactical position of Noble is so superior.
To give everyone an update on the Simp versus Hammer Time matchup, Simp won the series 5-2. So final score 5-2 in favor of Sim. Movement still occurring from Noble to get behind Meadowhawk, or at least to the side to open up a flank. Anfield and Crisis know they have the advantage in firepower, armor. Frankly, damn, I mean, just tanks alive, the overmatch.
As you say that, he takes the majority of his health and damage. And he's left at 294. So one solid shell from Enfield should do it. One solid shell from Crisis. Oh, apparently one solid shell that rolls a little bit short.
Oh, 2 misses on Meadowhawk, but he finally goes down. Fossa Kid, last hope for Full Potato in Battle 2. Crisis moving forward in the 1390 across the fields.
Oh, and he's found Fossa Kid. Takes a hit from Sovereign Zul. Trying to back off now, but he's in the open. Oh, just long enough, and does a little juke to the right. Sovereign mispredicts that. But will he make the next shot? He should have him spotted just a moment longer. Looks like he's gone dark, and they've lost him. Fossa Kid going into the low ground. Will maybe be able to avoid death for a little while, but at this point, this battle, I should say, is a formality.
Crisis waiting to line it up. Formality indeed, and they get it 1-1. Currently tied. Noble able to clean that up as the defenders, and they will switch sides over to the attack, while Full Potato will defend. I was a bit concerned with how Noble's going to react to the flag pressure at the beginning, the blitz, of overreacting. Because what can happen is we just lost to a flag cap. There's no way we're going to lose to a flag cap again. All hands on deck. We're all going over. Let's do this. But that was not the case. Noble played it patient. And because of that, I felt they dictated what was happening on the battlefield.
Yes. Also, they took advantage of the T-32's, kind of falling behind. The single T-32 from Full Potato didn't have any battle buddies there. He didn't have any support fire. He's on the other side of the tracks and the other side of the middle hill. So Noble did a good job of picking up on the fact that there was someone who was cut off. Someone that they could very easily kill early on, get a lead, get rid of that healthy, well-armored tank that's going to do incredibly well in hull down, also damage. T-32s are dangerous, and they respected that, dealt with it early on.
So moving on into battle number 3, the question is, does Noble use similar attack patterns they saw from their opponent? Do they kind of use what they just saw and give their opponent a taste of their own medicine? Or has Noble had some sort of preparation specifically for this enemy that they're waiting for it as the attackers?
That is an interesting idea. Could they have a counter strat because they know exactly what Full Potato's standard defenses are? You're getting into meta where Full Potato, if they're thinking on, if they're thinking about it, decide to pull something else that's sneaky and new. It'll be that back and forth, but the style I expect from Noble will be very structured, I think.
Sure.
Where you see those comprehensive lineups, taking one side of the map or the other, making sure you keep your crossfires in order, making sure support is always there. That's going to be Noble in this one. Full Potato, probably going to. I'm calling for an aggressive opening.
An aggressive opening coming from Full Potato.
Let's call it.
As the defenders, we're going to find out. 15 seconds left on the countdown for battle number 3. What do we have for tanks?
All right, so T-32 perching 1390, RU-251s, 2 of them, and then 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. That's Full Potato. And yes, I am actually calling Full Potato as the attack. That was not me saying the wrong name.
I know.
You said it's pretty surprised.
No, well, as the defenders, you're a little bit surprised, but I know what you meant. I knew where you were coming from.
I just wanted to make sure because you did sound fairly surprised. Now, on Noble, what's interesting is they're bringing a T-32, 2 1390s, RU-251. That's standard, but the T-49, played by Bananas to the Wall Host, should be able to throw this battle way into Noble's favor or way out of Noble's favor based on his ability to connect shells.
Well, he's able to do a little bit of damage to his teammates ramming into him, and they're firing on the move. They go up and over the railroad tracks onto the eastern side, heading towards the flag cap here. Fossa Kid got hit.
Look at Meadowhawk. He was heading east right at the beginning. This is a cute play from Full Potato. They take the west, but they sneak someone off into the east side. And he could come into play later, but he has to get safely into his position. And
Anfield took a hit to the front as he and Bananas to the Wall Host move up to the northern section.
All right. Looks like Meadowhawk is opening fire on Bananas. Is making one connection, but there is a second. The return fire, though, not connecting from Bananas.
This is a perfect time for Boar and Warbender to move in. And Chandog tries to push in and get a shot, but they're not going for it yet. They're cautious of what's happening to the south. But they go up and over the railroad tracks. Anfield gets hit to the side. Bananas gets hit. Meadowhawk in a prime position to bait these tanks to focus on him. And Chandog goes up and over. He dies because of it, though. Boar and Warbander clean up what's left to the north. And the next step for Noble, after losing 2 tanks, is crucial right now to get this victory, as the defenders are sweeping over the northern side and have control of this section of the battlefield.
Yeah, Full Potato has the ability now to regain control of any part of the map they wish. Fat Crow is a weak point, yes, but they'll have to leave behind Baronish entirely, which I think they're going to have to abandon him no matter what.
Baronish went down. He was trying to escape. Yeah, they did have to abandon him. Boar, the T-32, now creeping slowly up towards the flat cap in a great hold down position against whatever is waiting for him in the eastern village.
Well, to the north of Fat Crow, plenty of tanks right there for support. Zombie Food has gone up and over, looking for a flanking position. Might be able to catch Full Potato off guard, but Full Potato has such a superior position. More tanks, more hit points, everything's going for him. They're also on defense. Zombie could get some damage out, but we'd need to see everyone else from Noble stay alive, and that's not what
It's not happening. It's not happening for Blue Stealth. Crisis. Ooh, shots fired back to Fossakid and the Walker Bulldog. He's going to fall back a bit. Fat Crow takes a hit to the front. Fossakid, another one to the side. He's going to get behind the buildings for cover as Crisis could move in the 1390 and pick this kill up in the bush.
Zombie very well could finish there. Fossakid goes down, and now Zombie may be able to finish off Fat Crow with one more shell, and he does.
It's 3 against 4 now. 2 tanks going down for Full Potato.
Yeah, that's surprising. And return fire from external doesn't connect with Zombie as he is on reload. Crisis, not sure where he's sitting at right now, but he is slightly damaged. Warbander is chasing him now into a 2v1 with perhaps War to support, but depending on the terrain, he may not be able to.
Warbander up and over, ready to engage with Zombie Food, holding back. Warbander misses the shot. Crisis lands another one. He has a little bit higher HP. They continue to fire. Can Crisis actually get this?
Crisis's turret was damaged.
Zombie Food needs to move in. He can't get the kill in time. Warbander, barely any health left. He goes down.
And that trade, that was all due to a critical hit. All because 1390 Warbander was able to crit the turret ring of Crisis and stop his turret from being able to track and keep up with the strafing. Absolutely crucial to his ability to come out of that fight.
War and External now pushing up against Zombie Food, who's taken a number of hits and will be out of enough shells. External pushes in, and the RU-251 gets the ram kill. And
now
1 tank remains. Major issue.
Yeah, he is out in the open, no cover, spotted, and taking fire from Meadowhawk, who has now tracked him. That's going to end it.
And that's another victory for Full Potato, taking the lead in the series 2-1 as the defenders here on Prohorovka.
I'm surprised. I thought that Noble was going to be able to handle that clutch situation after they got the 2 kills that they needed to get it a little bit closer. But I think the beginning of the match is where we did see Full Potato come way ahead. Sneaking Meadowhawk into the northeast threw Noble off so much that they weren't able to react properly. Also, something I should point out about that T-49 is that Bananas the wall host in the T-49 was bringing the 90mm cannon on there and not the 152. You have that option.
Why?
No, there's no strong argument I can think of in favor of it, because I would rather bring an RU-251 than a T-49 if I were going to bring something that's going to have a 90mm cannon.
I would rather bring the 152 on the T-49 because that's what I enjoy. That's what we love watching on Cliff as well, but that's also been effective for tankers on Cliff, yes, but could we see the same effectiveness on Prohorovka? It's a slow velocity shell. It's inaccurate at range. It is a running gun type turret on the T-49. That's probably the best way to use it.
I think that maybe he was just trying something out.
Sure.
I haven't found enough advantages from the T-49 mounting the 90mm to give it any credit as a tank to bring over an RU-251. I'm going to have to ask him, and I'm going to probably take note of this, why he wanted to do that, because I don't think it's a good choice. I don't think it was a smart lineup choice, and I think that it damaged their ability to be effective in that fight.
Battle number 4 between Noble and Full Potato is about to begin. Prohorovka for one last time. What do we have for tanks?
All right. T32 Pershing, 1390, 2 RU-251s, 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs for full potato. So they're bringing that Pershing, keeping some mobility, but keeping the hold down potency as well. They need a faster game. Noble, 2 T32s, 2 1390s, RU-251, 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. They can play a slower game, but with 2 1390s, they are able to ramp it up for a short time and use those 1390s to follow up the initial push by T32s, wherein they do have a rather significant damage potential in the short term, but they lose momentum very quickly once a brawl starts.
Looking at the opening runs from both teams here. Zombie Food could be the first contact. And with his scouting around the 1390, able to see the positioning of Full Potato. Just over the railroad tracks, external fires.
Went high.
A little too high, a little over the top.
It's hard to make that shot. It's difficult to see when we're watching in a third-person mode because it makes the terrain appear a little bit flatter, but it's just dynamic enough in the middle that you can't quite depress your gun well without, and you can't quite get a shot on the target you would like to without exposing yourself more than is reasonably safe.
You can notice with Zombie Food's positioning here as we move up close that up and down small hills and small valleys here on Prohorovka. It's not all a flat surface here. Zombie Food's going to move to the north, leading along with Major Issue on the western side, past the road. One shot to Bananas to the wall host on T32.
And then one shot as well into Foster Kid from Baronish in the south. Baronish peeking up and over, he's in the hold down, and Foster Kid, he was the second one over. He gets spotted first, doesn't get his gun on target, and Baronish is able to make a connection. Foster Kid not able to reciprocate.
Another shot fired on the side, and Bananas ready to deal more damage than the T32, but fires a shot into the ground, unfortunately.
Foster Kid looking for shells into Bananas and Blue Stealth right now from the south. He's getting spotted, I think, from the mid, Chandog and external.
Bananas hit for 140.
Pasta looking for the shot one more time.
External. Oh, close shot to Blue Stealth. Just trading blows back and forth, but the rest of their team are stagnant right now for the attackers.
Yeah, and Fossickett is unable to penetrate the back of this T32. Keeps bouncing, hitting tracks. There's one connection finally for 135. And if Full Potato is allowed to keep getting away with this damage, and these T32s don't move much, Full Potato can start getting a good lead. But right now, Foster Kid is getting pressured out of that position. Baronish moving up, and because of that, Foster has to respect that. He must respect that there's a tank with slightly more health and probably a better supported position coming at him, so he must back off. Now, they will reply by moving Meadowhawk over, so you're going to have Meadowhawk and Foster Kid potentially against Baronish, which is where we could see Full Potato take out someone early on and start running with that, getting that lead.
Less than 4 minutes on the clock for Noble to either get the flag cap or kill all of the enemy tanks.
And moving on to cap, that is
Crisis.
Crisis.
Well, not on the cap, close to cap, but ready to get on cap. Zombie Food moving with him in the 1390.
Crisis going over. He's going right at
Up and
Fat
over.
And he bounces the first shell, going into his tracks, but not taking any damage there. Zombie Food in support. They should be able to take him down, but there are tanks moving in to put fire onto Crisis.
Well, here comes 3 tanks. Major Issue from behind, ready to clean this up. They do lose Crisis because of it, and Major Issue dodges a shot from long range. And that's a 2-for-1 special in favor of Noble.
Nicely played. Aggressive. They do lose some hit points for it, but they have definitely come out ahead. Picking up Fat Crow is crucial. He was healthy, decent armor, solid tank to have in the late game, especially if you can manage to keep him healthy. But that should work well for Noble. They'll be able to work with this position. They've got pressure in the north, pressure in the west. Full Potato has 2 problems to solve, and they do not have the resources to split up much. They don't have much health. Both of their highly mobile tanks, Chandog and External and RU-251s, are damaged below 500 hit points, meaning 2 shells from any of these tier 8 should be able to finish them off.
Anfield, the Major Issue with Zombie Food holding this northern line. Zombie takes a hit, 2 hits, as Baronish continues with that pressure on the flag cap.
This is 2 minutes 20 seconds, and the reply from Full Potato is send Foster Kid out west. Okay. They have just enough time with 1:25 on the clock that Foster Kid may be able to get around undetected and then fire into Baronish on Cap. But the big consideration here is, what is Noble going to attempt to accomplish in the meantime? What are they going to pick up on because there's no immediate pressure from Full Potato? They're not seeing much of an engagement right now. And because of that, they might be able to pick up on the fact that someone is coming into the backfield. Actually, Enfield does. And he's there. Finds Foster Kid, puts a shell into his gun, but doesn't get to deal any damage now. Fire coming from the east into him should be able to finish him off one more.
There's going to be pressure and threats coming from 3 different fronts here. Foster Kid very, very low in that 41 Bulldog, and Anfield gets that kill. Still an advantage of Noble, only 1 tank lost, 3 tanks down for Full Potato, as the attackers, Noble, have got to make a move soon. 1 minute and 15 seconds left for them to destroy all the tanks or get on the flag.
You're right, they are running out of time, but the hit point pools right now for Full Potato are so low that they should be able to do this, as long as they don't pull anything too crazy, you know?
Well, if Meadowhawk can escape in time, and if they have to go on the chase unsuccessfully, this could be a win for Full Potato here. Major issue now on the run, trying to get Meadowhawk. 52 seconds left. External 7 and Meadowhawk are fleeing into the hills, trying to stay alive for this amount of time. This is a very crucial moment for Noble to decide to pursue or get on a flag cap. I don't think they're going to have enough time.
Zombie has found External. They are engaging now, and he does have the advantage of being able to deal a little bit more damage.
Ooh, major issue, takes down Meadowhawk, and Zombie Food takes down External, and that's it. Noble ties up the series 2-2 as we move away from Prohorovka and on to Himmelsdorf.
This is turning out to be a very back-and-forth match. I didn't expect that. I would have thought we'd see maybe attack-attack win or defend-defend win, but having them 1 win, 1 loss on each side, and note that Full Potato wins the first on one side, and then Noble is able to react and recover from that battle and find victory.
Well, the unique strategy from Full Potato was the usage of Meadowhawk in the previous battle. But in this one, it, as you mentioned, very back and forth, but finally the sweep from Noble to the north to gain control of one section of the map.
Yeah.
And this is an important factor if you're any type of leader in war, is that you obviously want to win the war, but you have to win battles successfully and in succession until you win the war itself. I mean, you have to compartmentalize it. So they did that in the northern section of Prohorovka. They won that battle, then they had control of the north, and then it started to trickle down into the rest of the map.
Yeah, that victory damaged their opponent enough to the point where they did not have anything to work with. They didn't have any resources left. They had some tanks there that yes, there's hit points, yeah, there's armor, yeah, there's health, but they didn't have anything that they could be creative with, that they could present a solution to the problem. They couldn't force a brawl. Flanking turned out to not work because their opponent was definitely able to predict. You saw Enfield moving to the west. That could have done it, but that would have required Noble to just kind of plop down on their positions and wait.
Plopping down and waiting, especially as the attacker, is not the best choice to make.
Yeah.
Especially how close it was getting with that time. And if those tanks were able to either hold a little bit longer in that firefight, allowing the others to escape up into the hills, and they're able to dodge shots. We saw Asbill do it Tuesday night. It's another possibility they have to be very cautious of. So now as we move into Himmelsdorf, city-type map, Noble, based on their former tactics, it's a former team name, were great when they would stick together. But when they would start to divide up, they'd fall apart. A little bit like Simple Tankers with the aggression.
Interesting point. We'll see if they can pull that out, or maybe even prove us wrong.
True.
With some growth and a little innovation there.
One great thing about this job, Randall, is that if you're proven wrong, it's not a bad thing.
Oh, it's actually kind of fun.
Here we go. Battle number 5 between Full Potato and Noble. What do we have for tanks?
All right, so 3 5100s, 2 IS-3s, a single IS, and a T-29 for Full Potato. They will be the defenders, by the way, blue team. And Noble, the attackers, are bringing that 110. I like that. 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, Tiger 1, and an M41 Bulldog. So Noble's looking to play this one fast, get vision, work the camo system right now. I think that's what Baronish is going to be going for with Noble. If he's able to get good spotting, you could see some early damage going out, Noble getting that lead. You could also see a little bit of kind of backfield play. if they're able to get Baronish somewhere behind enemy lines, if they can kind of drag Full Potato out of position. We've seen it work before with T-37s. M41 should be just a little bit more effective.
Saw on the screen just a little bit ago, one of Blue Stealth's fans reaching out on Twitter. You can send us a tweet using that hashtag, WGLNA. We'll pop it up there on the broadcast, thanks to our production team. Blue Stealth and Zombie Food in the south, peeking out a little bit here, looking for an opponent. Fat Crobe in the IS-3 is in Golf 2?
Yes.
Golf 3, that section?
Yeah, he's hull down. It's a rather safe position, but there is one huge blind spot for cover. Because where Full Potato currently is, if you saw a blitz from Noble up the north, the 1-2 line up those train tracks, they can find themselves cover against some buildings to the north of Fat Crobe, which you can see kind of just along the 2 line, and then also on the other side of the road, which I call the 3 road. Those positions you can just overmatch Fat Crobe and destroy him very easily. But if engaged from the south, you're going to see Full Potato able to bring 2 5100s and an IS to bear on anything moving down that line.
Give you an update on the other matchup that's happening of Roulette versus Simply Irresistible. They're tied up 1-1 right now. We'll keep you updated as that match unfolds. Major issues of leading the front now in the IS-3, followed by Sovereign Zool in the Tiger 1 for the attackers. Noble, plenty of time to make a move here. This northwest pocket, along with Fat Crobe's position, gives more map control and knowledge. And eyes on the map from Full Potato. Knowledge will happen once they scout the tanks.
Yeah, but Meadowhawk has binoculars on his T-29, and so he has a vision advantage. Now, he doesn't have necessarily that armor advantage as he is penned in, you call it the cheeks of the turret, just to the side of the mantlet. A lot of people call that the cheeks. He was penned from the front, actually. So,
it's
one
a rough
good
day
shell.
for the commander.
Yeah. He's actually dead center, I believe the commander is on the T-29.
Yeah.
Because the giant hatch that you see in a lot of American tanks. Although, oddly enough, he's got a Canadian flag.
Hey, they were allies.
You got to rep Canada, you know?
110 Anfield. Moving up slowly. Up the 1 line, takes a hit to the front. He says no thank you, takes another hit to the front. Gets tracked because of it. Falls behind the little... I don't even know what to call this building.
It's like a little train stop thing, maybe?
Small train depot.
Yeah.
Another shot fired from Anfield.
Little blind fire.
Does not connect here.
Fosta Kid was in cover at the time. I think they're slightly far enough apart. Yeah, Anfield does not see where Fosta is, but now that Fosta has opened up fire, should be able to spot him and return fire shortly from 5100 and Anfield. Or not. They don't see him. He's just far enough away. Interesting. And, oh, I think that's because Fosta Kid has optics. I failed to notice. Apologies.
Crisis takes 2 hits to the front, 298 damage to the IS-3. They're whittling down Noble and making their possible strike even that much harder to execute here because of the lower HP. 1,200 HP difference right now between 2 teams.
It's not too huge, but
it's big enough.
It is certainly big enough. Makes Noble's attack much harder. They can't take those risks when they move in and attack. They're going to have to find some kind of an advantage, maybe pick up Fat Crobe or jump on external. Baronish is moving around the flanks, and he has, no, not quite found external, doesn't have an angle to see him, but Baronish is playing around in the backfield, and if he is able to find some success, that could be where this changes.
Sovereign Zool takes a hit for 401 as they turn the corner here. Fat Crobe lines up another shot against Sovereign. He could have enough time to get the kill here. He's changing targets, focusing on Crisis instead.
And just so you know, elsewhere, Baronish is engaging external and has done 463 damage so far to him, actually keeping that IS-3 occupied and out of the fight, unable to support against the push of Noble, who are able to keep all of their tanks alive for now.
Blue Stealth tried to move across the open lane here. He took a number of hits to the side of his 5100, and another one from Meadowhawk and that T-29, that 400H tank, ready to land more shots against the danger, and external cleans it up from a side shot in the other IS-3.
Yeah, he just decided to ignore Baronish, get back into his little hidey hole, but because of this, I think that's Zombie Food moving into the 5100 to finish him off. It's a damaged IS-3, shouldn't be able to get, he doesn't even get the first connection, and that'll be a free kill for Zombie Food.
And he's able to get it. Crisis and Major Issue still holding the line on the western flank, but they are low on hit points as Major takes another hit.
And Baronish on the east side has found Chandog, or rather Chandog found him. And as he tries to run away, Chandog is not able to keep up. M41 will survive just a little bit longer.
Crisis pushes up in the IS-3.
And I love this Enfield. I'm going to follow him as he moves in on Chandog.
Zombie, his tank bounced a shot from the IS. Major Issue in the IS-3. Looking to clean this up. Does not get the last shot, though. And he falls. Sovereign Zul takes down Warbander. And Baranesh in the M41. Bulldog getting behind the 5100. Can he get the kill, Randall? One shot.
He should be able to. Chandog shouldn't have enough shells left to finish this.
One more shot from Baranesh to take down Chandog, and he gets it. War now in the 5100 facing Zombie Food, Crisis, and Sovereign Zul. 42 seconds left on the battle clock. 3 tanks remain for Full Potato, 4 tanks for Noble. But the hit point's still way in favor of Full Potato. They take down Baranesh.
They do, but they have to move their guns around a little bit for it. Might be able to see Sovereign Zul and that Tiger sneak a shot in, but it looks like Boar has found himself just enough cover.
23 seconds left, Noble. You've got to fight now. You've got to move now. Boar and the rest of his teammates are waiting for you, but they're ready to meet this end in battle. One shot from Zombie Food on the move. Takes down Boar with 10 seconds left to go. Fossa Kid shuts them down. Sovereign Zul, the last tank left alive for Noble with 4 seconds left against a T-29 and a 5100. 2-1, and that's it. That's a victory for Full Potato on the defensive side.
Huh? Well, it looked strong for Noble, especially with the performance of the M41. I really have to look at the post-game stats on that one. That was 1,678 damage on an M41 Walker Bulldog on a city map, by the way, where I think Baranesh, and I don't know if you agree, I think you had a rather impactful run there.
Oh, I think he did. And seeing the speed and movement used to control the east via scouting, which is where he was the majority of the time, allows for Noble to kind of assess a little bit better what's happening on the battlefield if it's not a northwestern pocket defensive play coming from their opponents.
Yeah, and because it was such a unique play from Full Potato, they sent that IS-3 down the 3 line.
Yes.
He's way downtown, out of position, and they do go for Fat Crow. And that kind of works out for Full Potato. I think this is where Noble made a mistake in their approach.
But look at this. Fat Crow doesn't shoot. He could have got the kill on Sovereign Zul if he moved out, but actually they're forcing the tanks to come to him across the open lane, and that's why he didn't want to move his tank out of cover.
Yeah, he may have been ammo racked as well. That could have been something that was going on there. If it's lose your loader, lose your ammo rack, you got a long reload, you keep taking hits, maybe you catch fire for a second, although he didn't. Keeps lengthening that reload, and it's absolutely mind-numbing when you're sitting there in an IS-3 in your ammo rack, because that takes forever.
Blue Stealth got shut down in the 5100, only shot 3 times, only 1 of them penetrated, and that was the majority of the downfall when it comes to Noble. If you lose a 5100 like that, not that much damage. If a Tiger 1 does more damage than a 5100, you got to make a change. Nothing against a Tiger 1, but it's the job of the 5100 to be doing the most amount of damage in these matches. Battle number 6 is about to happen between Full Potato and Noble. Once again, Randall, what do we have for tanks on Himmelsdorf?
All right, well, once again, 3 5100s. Actually, no, this is different. Sorry. 3 5100s, 2 IS-3s, an IS, and a T-29. On the other side, looks like Noble now attacking. It's going to have 3 5100s, 2 IS-3s, an IS, and a Tiger 1. So, slight variation there. Only slight, really, because you're opting for a T-29 on defense. Obvious. Hold down positions. Works. Good choice. Tiger 1. A little beefier. It's what you want on attack. It's going to bounce some shells sometimes. I remember seeing, I think I Love Lamp. There was a match on Himmelsdorf where I watched a shell from, it may have been Aggressor or Halo. Can't remember because both, I just remember Baby as a part of the name. Fires a shell from all the way up in, what is it, where the T-29 Meadowhawk currently is, that little window just around the corner there, bounces into the side of one of the tanks where you see the cluster of the 5100 IS-3, and then hits the back of a 110, which is cool because a few patches ago, shells no longer vanish when they bounce on a tank and then leave the damage model. So you can use tanks to bounce shells around corners and bend bullets. Yeah, and we've gotten to see that a little bit in action here in the WGLNA, but most of the time these guys are aggressive enough to the point where they're not trying to do anything sneaky like that. They're just making sure their sure shots are going to count.
And up and over into the north, we have Noble, which went down Tank Alley. I'm going for that western bottom strategy from the south to north approach. And major issue in the IS-3 gets lit up. He's going to have to fall back.
Now that opening volley, he's almost down, 259. And they're searching for those connections, but there, Boar is able to get it.
He goes down. But he's able to absorb a couple shots before going down. I think landing at least one. And Sovereign Zul's low in the Tiger 1 as well. Meadowhawk in the T-29 holding his ground and firing back, but he could be the next one to fall here on the battlefield. As Baranesh in the IS is going to push up.
Meadowhawk's actually able to back off and get into that retreated hull down position right in there and should be able to live a little bit longer, which could preserve him and allow Full Potato to keep their tanks alive and just finish this one off because they're already 2 tanks up, but hit points are still close enough to the point where Noble has some kind of chance in this game.
2 tanks down for Noble, though. The chance is slim. Baranesh hit for 325, again for 629. And this, is that from a long-range Fosta kid in the 5100?
Not quite. He's only just now getting on target, peeking out, and
Another shot against Baranesh.
That's him.
One more hit, and he will fall.
Now he got a little distracted by Zombie Food showing up, and now that he's down on shells, Fosta gets fired at least twice. Zombie Food has an advantage. He has a full clip. Fosta does not have enough damage to kill Zombie Food without some kind of super critical.
But there's a complete overmatch advantage in the north.
There are a number of damaged tanks in the north, though.
There's Meadowhawk in the T-29, but you got the IS-3, the 5100, and Warband in the IS. Send the IS out first, followed by the IS-3 and the 5100. You can overmatch what's happening in the north from Noble.
Although you have to wait for your 5100s to reload. Once that happens, I agree, Full Potato should probably push in, and it should be victory at that point.
Well, Zombie Food, because he's out of the fight chasing Fosta Kid, it's just a big overmatch situation, but they're playing it safe here. Full Potato, 43 seconds on the flag cap from Blue Stealth. Another shot landed against Bananas to the wall host for a damaged shot on the side of his tank in the IS-3. 33 seconds left. Shot firing back towards Boar. Boar moves in for the reset, and there goes Meadowhawk. Boar getting lit up in the 5100, and Baranesh closes the deal in the IS.
Beautiful timing on that one.
Fat Crobe around the corner takes down Baranesh, and there goes Blue Stealth.
And now there's not enough support. Bananas is effectively alone, and you've got Enfield in the area, but Enfield
destroyed his own teammate, unfortunately. Fires back, and that's it. Full Potato leads the series now 4-2 against Noble on the defensive side, but the tables will turn one more time as Noble will be on the defense and Full Potato on the attack.
That accidental team kill. I don't know if they're going to be laughing in their comms right now or yelling, but knowing Noble, it's probably laughing.
Probably laughing. Probably laughing.
But when you're not having a really good time like this, you're down 4-2, it's you might not be.
I don't know. Noble is probably saying, nobody kills my friends but me, as he takes a shot. But look at this positioning here from Noble. I mean, they're hugging as much as they can this side section, but this is the overmatch I was talking about. Full Potato can move in and get the kill, and this is the shot. That hurts. Anfield, why?
He tried to sneak it over, hit Warbander or something, maintain the focus, or maybe they knew it was over and that was actually the googly bobber within them coming out.
That Fosta Kid 5100 placement was pretty great, especially with the amount of damage he did. 1941. He connected 7 out of 10 shots for a penetration value. Meadowhawk right below him in the T-29, 8 for 8.
Yeah.
For direct hits and pens out of 10 shots.
And he had, I believe, the 90 mil in there, so he's putting out shots very, very quickly, dealing damage when he could, peeking out occasionally, but not getting high alpha. There's a chance that he could have done more if he'd brought the 105 in this situation, especially with the ranges you were engaging at. However, the loss in penetration maybe a trade-off to the point where you're taking on those IS-3s, you need all the pen you can get.
Less loss of penetration for the 105 compared to the 90.
Yeah, the 90 has better pen.
90's better pen.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Lesser damage, in case you guys wanted to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough call. I always favor the 105 on my T32s and T29s because I'd rather have more damage in that exact moment rather than over time.
Yeah, and I'm starting to warm up to it a little bit more. Yeah. Like, situationally, it would have worked there.
Battle number 7, Noble versus Full Potato. Noble is one battle away from losing this against Full Potato, who's up 4-2. What do we have for tanks?
All right, Noble defending. Sorry. 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, Tiger 1, and an M41 Walker Bulldog. So they're going to go for that scout game again. They're going to see if they can have Danksta this time in the M41 find those weak points and exploit openings. On the side of Full Potato, those 3 5100s, 2 IS-3s, 2 IS. And that's a lineup with an incredible amount of damage very early in a fight, very early in a brawl, but that still brings high alpha. You've got 4 tanks, which volley for 390 with their shells, so you're easily hitting, 1,600 damage and around that area in just a volley with all of those tanks. 1,600, sorry, I should say 1,600 is enough to kill a 5,100, even with low RNG.
Here's Danksta cruising around here in that Walker Bulldog as we check out the other movements here from the blue team. So you got Baronesh, Anfield, Bananas, and Major.
And now they're in the north. Full Potato has control of Noble's northeast cap, well, at least more control than they do. There is a bit of a retreat, though, from Noble. They're sending a few guys back north to that northwestern traditional defensive position. But they won't be able to hold off all of these tanks. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, all heading in the north. And then who is that lagging behind? Is that Meadowhawk? Yeah, Meadowhawk and the IS lagging behind just a little bit on the flank, you could say. And with cap pressure starting, External's going to cross.
Yeah,
right behind him, Warbander.
Seeing if Zombie Food's going to move from his position. He's not. Anfield, the Bananas to the Wall host, will lead the charge here. Smart play coming from Noble defensively, but the IS-3 takes a hit from Chandog.
He's in the right place at the right time, 5,100. And they're approaching on the move. So he is going to be able to get quite a bit of free damage out here. Not a full clip, and he's going to miss just one. But a few solid connections into Enfield will make it so when he does get into the engagement up north, you're going to see him go down very quickly.
Oh, but this flank from behind. Noble's in a very bad position as Full Potato's going to cruise in and get a complete surround on these tanks. And there's one. Anfield is down.
Yeah, going for the lowest target first. Now going on to Major Issues, who's the target of opportunity. He's going to go down quick. From there, looks like it's going to be a regroup as Foster Kid and Fat Crow are a little bit far out of the fight.
3 tanks down for Noble. Bananas of the Wall host is taking an exuberant amount of HP damage here from External, but he falls from Baronesh. Warbander lining up the one shot. Fat Crow moves in to get that kill.
And Blue Stealth looks to be moving in, maybe to body block, maybe loaded shortly, not sure. Now, it looks like Blue Stealth is just being here to be a shield because he's on reload, isn't going to have the shells, and he needs to preserve the life of that Tiger. Although Zombie may be loaded and could get... Oh, wow! Drives in front of Baronesh's shot and absorbs it. That is a little bit of lack of coordination right there on Noble, as I think they may be getting close to accepting defeat.
Chandong moves in from behind. Baronesh takes a hit, big hit from the traveling 5,100. Zombie Food goes down, and that's it. Full Potato takes the series 5-2 against Noble.
And I'm just surprised by Noble. I thought that Noble would seem more coordinated, but there were little things that were off. I saw team damage in multiple battles, team kill in one of them. I think that they might need to work a little bit on their coordination. I don't think everyone was on the same page of that book.
Yeah, I got to go back to the fundamentals. Full Potato, however, I liked the straight-up blitz towards that flag cap, using the tank alley side, the eastern side, getting away from that western pocket, and because of the placement of Noble defensively, they didn't go for that northwest pocket as well. They had a little bit more of a spread. There's nothing wrong with that per se, but their answer to what Full Potato brought to the northern flag cap, and then that sweep coming up from the center, which was like a textbook elementary school type of play. And I don't mean to diminish the intelligence of either team here, but it's like Tanks 101. If you're assaulting to the north, somebody's going to be coming behind you if not all the tanks are there.
There's nothing I can do to back that one up. That is straight up. That is it. You just dropped the truth bomb.
I did. Well, that was the second matchup for tonight. Our third matchup is getting ready, and you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.